Good afternoon. I'm Sujie, a PhD candidate from Northwestern Polytechnical University, located in Xi'an, Shanxi People's Republic of China. My supervisor is Professor Li Yazhi. The topic of my presentation is study on microscopic ductile fracture of in-situ titanium diboride 2024 aluminum matrix composite. In my report, particle reinforced aluminum matrix composite is abbreviated to PRAMS. We know that PRAMS are widely applied in aviation, space flight, or automobile industry. And then, based the synthetic process, we can separate the PRAMS into two parts. The first is the annealed particle method, and second is high temperature molten salt method. And we focus on the second method. We also named it as the in-situ method. The two mixed salts annealed into the aluminum alloy in certain ratio, and they produce the titanium diboride particles. And then it's the schematic diagram of salt reaction. And then we gave the morphology of in-situ titanium diboride particles. This micro morphology of situ. And then compared to the PRAMS synthesized with annealed particle method, some advantages of in-situ titanium diboride type 2024 is the following, such as the tiny sized particle, and then it may have a higher strength and rounded shape particle, and then it may release the stress concentration, and then the high strength interface between particle and aluminum matrix, and then it may not easy to debonding in the tensile stress. So the purpose of our research is to observe fracture and damages behavior of in-situ titanium diboride 2024 under tension at micro scales. Now let's first we will introduce the tensile test with SEM observation, and then we give the results of tensile test. This is the tensile test, and then at the last we give a summary and a conclusion for our research. This is the tensile specimen. The microscopic morphology of the microstructure is like here. We find two kinds of particles. The first is large particle, and second is the particle cluster. We will introduce the uniaxial tensile properties. The blue line, the blue lines is the 2024 T4, and the red one is the in-situ PRAMS. In tables, we can see that the increment percentage of the strength is 25.2 and 22.8% respectively. Now we first introduce the features of large particles. We can see from the picture, the large particle has an irregular shape and separate and distribute isolated and have a occupy a small quality and distribute in a ring. The light particle size is up to thousands of microns, and the composition of it is aluminum titanium. And the light particle is very brittle. And then we give features of particle clusters. The red circle stands for the particles, and the blue ones stands for the transition layers. And the transition layer debonding particles together. The particle cluster is mainly distributed on grain boundary. The size of particle is about 30 to 500 nanometers, and the composition of small particle is titanium diboride. As the small particle has relatively higher tensile strength due to its tiny size, and the transition layer is easy to debonding in tensile stress. This is the introduction to the main equipment of tensile test. Now let's go to the core of our research, the results of tensile test with acting observation. During the tensile test, we mainly observed three dimensional stages in tensile test. The first is initiation of microcracks, and second is accumulation of microcracks, and third, the last one is the coalescence of microcracks. First, we will introduce the initiation of microcracks. We can see that the microcracks in large particles is perpendicular to tensile direction, and we also conclude that the microcrack is extending rapidly until being arrested at the interface between large particle and the aluminum matrix. Now this is the microcracks in particle clusters. We mainly conclude that the characteristics of primary microcracks in particle cluster is due to the transition, layer debonding. This mainly the quasi-cleavage plane. Now let's go to the second diameter stage, the accumulation of microcracks in large particles. We can see that the primary microcrack tips become blunting due to the formation of aluminum matrix, and the density of microcracks increases due to the increasing load. As the third is secondary microcracks initiate close to the primary microcracks and vary in different directions owing to the redistribution of stress around the primary ones. Now the microcracks in particle clusters accumulate only shows the density of microcracks increase with the increasing load. Now let's go to the third diameter stages, coalescence of microcracks. There are mainly two microcracks coalescence mode. Firstly is the low-key naked band. This is almost the pure aluminum matrix. And then there exist abundant particles, so they will coalesce greatly. After the tensile test, we conduct the fracture surface morphology test. Then we give a corresponding pictures between the tensile test with SEM observation and the fracture surface morphology test. This is the microcracks in large particles corresponding to the breaking large particle. And the necking and the local necking band is corresponding to the honeycomb-like small dimples. And the microcracks in particle clusters is corresponding to breaking particle clusters. Now we draw a conclusion for our research. The first is microcracks firstly initiate in large particles or particle clusters due to their lower tensile strength and space concentration inside them. And the aluminum matrix hinders coalescence of microcracks. During the tensile test, we can draw that the interface shows excellent load transferring property because few interface bonding is observed. And the last one is the fracture mechanism is the Institute titanium dimerite 2024 is that the breaking of large particles and particle clusters acts as initiator of L, and finally the ductile fracture of aluminum matrix contributes to the completely fracture. That's all. Thanks for your attention.